Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're here with head coach Nate Carr Jr. Another episode of Inside Davidson Wrestling. Coach, how you doing?
How's it going?
Going good. Just wrapped up Davidson duels. A lot of action over the weekend, on Thursday and Friday. Before we start talking about the wrestling side, I know it was a lot of work for you and your staff. A big event like that. So you guys put in a lot of work. And any special thanks or anything like that for the behind the scenes?
Our assistant Ty Hustis, he kind of became the tournament director in the sense of getting some things put in the track wrestling. It's a tournament, but it's really not a tournament. So just working with track wrestling to get everything finalized and just make sure we had the right score clocks and everything ready to go. Obviously, and then Erica Andorf, director of ops, making sure everyone's getting the bills paid, getting the refs set up. Make sure we had hospitality room, and a lot of our mothers of kids that are on the team helped out. So I really appreciate all the parents that helped out. We were able to make it, and then obviously you helped out a ton. Scott Applegate and Sports Information and Game Day Management did a lot of work helping us put on a great event. Every coach said thank you and thought that the event went well. A lot of excitement, a lot of good teams that were there, a lot of great matches, and just a lot of great opportunity to showcase the sport of wrestling in Davidson. Another opportunity was to be on Flow Wrestling Live for the first time as we build that relationship with them, and we're going to have all of our home dual meets now be on Flow Wrestling. So just another step for us to get our brand, the sport of wrestling, growing nationally known for Davidson a little bit, and it's a great opportunity. I would like to thank everyone that helped. Over the last couple of days, it was a busy few days, and it's a lot of work to host, but we're excited to have all these great coaches and teams on campus. So we appreciate everyone coming, and we appreciate all the help that it took to run it. So thank you, guys.
Yeah. Now let's get into the wrestling side. Pretty tough stretch, but you guys got seen some flashes there. You had wins by Tyler, Cameo, and Jake on day one. Then day two, you had 2 wins by Mark, one at 65, one at 74, and then Cameo, Jake, and then Wyatt get in the win column. So kind of go through those matches.
Yeah, Wrestling Little Rock and Harvard, 2 really good teams with a lot of experience. Little Rock, they do a really good job recruiting, and they do a good job of just competing hard. A very tough team to wrestle right out the gate. And I thought that those guys came out and really got pretty aggressive. So it just shows us that we got to be ready earlier. We've been a team maybe that slow starter maybe might be the word, where the first minute we're kind of filling it out, and these guys from Little Rock kind of just went right at us, and we had to respond. And a lot of those guys did that. Tyler McKnight gave up the first takedown and then battled back, right, and was able to win. And then Cameo did a great job. Jake did a good job as well, getting some victories. So just seeing them respond, maybe they started with they were losing and they came back and battled. And being battle tested is a big part of the season. It's just what can you learn? And hey man, we got to start a little faster. We got to be ready to wrestle when the whistle blows. And so that was a lesson for day one for sure.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the freshmen. I know you've had 3 guys, pretty much a mainstay in the lineup, with John getting a lot of action on 133, Tyler of course, and then Wyatt. Also had some guys mix in with Ian McGee getting the match, his first collegiate dual action, and then some extra matches thrown in there with Savoy and DJ and Dylan.
Yep.
So just kind of talk about how, where those freshmen are at and how they're contributing.
I like to just see their energy out there, and they're learning. They're getting a little more comfortable with Division I wrestling, the riding time, the 3-point takedown. None of these things were part of their high school career, right? So just getting comfortable out there with their style, their energy, how they want to wrestle, and I think they're in better shape than they were at the beginning of the year, right? So they're just getting comfortable at Division I wrestling, and you'll see that as Wyatt starts to pick up some big wins. It was in all of his matches. Tyler McKnight continues to be one of the fastest guys I've ever coached, and shows flashes of greatness at times. It's really cool to see him grow. And obviously John continued to build up a weight class at 33 and still fighting in there, right? Still trying to find his way. So I think they're getting a little bit more comfortable, but again, we're kind of at that halfway point where you should start to see some like, all right, yeah, kind of get comfortable here, trying to get my hand raised. So really proud of where they're at. We got more to go, 54 days or so until the conference tournament, so a lot of time to get after it.
Yeah, now let's kind of switch more towards like the development side. I know you guys are battling, you guys are going against really good teams, and maybe it's not showing up on the win and loss column, but let's just talk about, what what are some things you guys are working on, and some points of emphasis that you've seen to the kind of this midway point of the season, and when you guys are wanting to work on as you guys get ready?
It's a mindset of really, if you take a loss, how do you respond to it? What can you learn from that loss to bring it to the next week of training, right? So really focus on how are you talking to yourself after a loss, and how do you move forward, or how do you move forward when things didn't go your way, right? So just teaching the mental side of it is almost just as equally as important as the wrestling mat. Wrestling is a lot 90% mental and 10% physical. If you don't believe that you can make adjustments, or you don't fail forward, it's really hard. That loss sticks to you, and you're thinking about the loss more than thinking about the preparation for the next event. So really just mental training about the approach of having success, but also the approach to having failure, and how you have that balance of life. So just having a balance of all right, I need to get better. At the end of the day, I have to continue to get better. My coaches are aware of things I need to work on. Buy into that, and just keep showing up every day. And so I think we have a team that's going to do that. We're all right, watch some film. Man, there's 3 or 4 areas you got to work on. All right, let's get to it. All right, and then see those changes. Last week, it was working on out of bounds, circling in, giving those stall calls. Thought we did a better job. 2 weeks ago, it was defense. Hey, we got to get a little bit better defense. Defense was better this week. So hopefully you just keep getting 1% better every week. Like I said, 54 days or so to the conference. How many percent better can we get with every week evaluating what we need to get better at? And so really excited about heading into, now we're in the conference duels. Huge implications for seeding and a bid to the NCAA tournament, because these are the guys you're going to have to beat to get your hand raised to get to the NCAA tournament. So really excited about it, and our first challenge is going to be pretty tough.
And I guess before we hit on your guys' match coming up this Sunday, I guess a brief update. I know you've been missing some guys. Bryce didn't wrestle this weekend. He's been battling some stuff. Jaden kind of been on the cusp, Brady Joling. So just give an update on some of these guys that are battling injuries, and maybe when we might see them, or how they're doing in their process.
It's one of those things where each day you get a new update as far as how they're feeling, how they're doing. We do feel like that we should be able to have some of our seniors competing this week. It's their last go around, so the opportunity to mentally and physically be ready to go. I think we're getting close. Still kind of a game time decision on those 2 seniors, but I feel comfortable that with their body and mindset and their energy, we should be able to see them. But again, we're going to train on Thursday, we're going to train on Friday, and see where they're at. So then we got some freshmen. Brady Joling still getting in there. He's got another couple weeks, I believe, before he probably gets going. But he's looking good, just trying to get comfortable after a tough injury. We had 2 or 3 guys with some minor ankle injuries that they're battling through and getting back into it, So I think we're, at the end of the day, again, I'm going to keep saying it, we can call this interview 54 days or so, but we have time to get healthy physically and mentally so we can be our best in March. We like to say March ready. So we have some time for those guys to take their time, do it right, and be ready to go during our conference time for duels. So.
I think that's what you said when one of our first interviews was greater later. So
greater later and March ready.
Absolutely. Now let's go ahead and talk about Campbell. They cracked Intermats. They're ranked 30th in the dual rankings. They got 6 guys in their probable lineup in the rankings. So you know the challenge going ahead and what the team you're facing. So I guess just talk about this match.
Yeah, Sky does a good job with their program to continue to continue that wave of when Cola got there and really gave them a lot of energy. And so they're continuing to bring that energy and do a good job recruiting and developing and really branding, a lot of social media things that they do well. So they are a team that is, I would say, at the top of the SoCon, them in App State. So we're starting our SoCon duels with probably one of the toughest premier teams in our conference, at home with a lot of challenges and a lot of opportunities though too. The challenges and being the underdog gives you the opportunity to get upsets or big wins or develop your guys to be ready to go. And so we're just getting ready just like a normal duel. Doesn't matter who we're facing. Go out there, shake their hands, and get to your things. Get to your offense. Be able to react and compete hard. And that's kind of what we're going to do. Every guy that's wrestling, we're planning on them to go out there and do their best, right? So that's kind of our approach this week. No changes to our training because we're in the conference duels. We're just getting ready. Do your best. Go out there, shake hands, and get after it.
Well, Coach, appreciate you taking the time as always. Always good to talk to you.
Yep. Go Cats.